Or did he have one? Right?
I would imagine he had a penis.
He did.
How do you know?
In the first one, you
Oh,
see
you're
his
right.
Arnold kind of swinging in the wind.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
when he's
right. And
walking
in the
up.
second one, no one goes, "Where's your penis, man?"
And they made a point of it, them looking at his penis, the guys.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted some of that. See, it's just it's commentary.
Hey there, how you doing? The VCR is all ready. The burgers are cooking. And until they're ready, come sit with us by the movie light. I am, as always, I hope, Dr. Crisis.
I'm Mr. Dust.
And I am Melmut.
And today we will be talking about the most iconic action scenes in movie history. That's what we're going to be doing. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so do you want to wait till the end to actually say what we think is the most iconic?
I think it's a good way to end the whole thing.
Okay.
People will be in anticipation of our expertise.
Yeah. So let's just talk about iconic movie scenes then.
Action scenes, right?
Action scenes,
Okay.
yeah. Iconic action scenes in general. I mean, the people say the pivotal action scene in modern movie action history is what?
Is French Connection.
The French Connection. I've never actually seen it.
I have, and through a movie that I actually didn't find very good, I thought that was the shining moment of the film.
Now, what is it again?
It's a man that Detective Popeye Doyle is
Did he
chasing.
eat a lot of spinach in the movie? I believe that was in the original script, right?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think that was.
I suppose that means that it is definitely the the truth. I just wasn't aware of it.
Okay.
He was trying to track somebody that got onto an L train. He got into his car and chased the L train to try and catch him getting off.
So that's the
scene.
Wow.
Yeah, him going through traffic, trying not to run people over and do what he needs to do without killing civilians to get it done. I thought it was very, very good.
So it holds up.
I think it does, yeah. And I saw it only a few years ago, and it's like I'd seen so many things by that time that were like action, and it held up. It was William Friedkin. Everyone knows him, most for Exorcist.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was intense as hell. Yeah, I really liked it a lot. He kept it on the streets. The view of him, you would have the view from his car at the L going by over the buildings. So I thought that it was intense. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Wow. All right.
Okay, so what's our criteria? Can we have like a fight scene as an action scene, or does it have to-
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I was just
Isn't that,
curious.
no, you're right. No, right,
Yeah.
because that could be a separate category. That's the only reason, right? Fight scenes.
Right.
We
Right,
could have.
how far down can we go? Because we could have said car chase scenes are a whole different category as well.
All right, you guys just love it. Okay, do you think the fight scene should go in there?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel for an action scene, for it to be called action, you got to have some kind of machinery.
Okay.
makes sense.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that would exclude anything like with knights or anything before the Industrial Revolution, or
Oh no, I guess not.
Oh,
Yeah, so
we
I
could say-
guess
we could
also
change
warfare.
machine to- I'm
you
sorry,
know.
go ahead.
Warfare would be a good one.
Yeah,
You know,
and
that's
like
a good that's an action.
mechanisms. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It can be machinations of mechanisms.
I'm for it. All right. Okay. So of course the problem's going to be in some of the movies. There's so many of them. You have to decide which one is the iconic.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I guess in Die Hard, the iconic action scene is him jumping off the roof at the end, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Which still to this day, and if you want to the scene completes with him trying not to be pulled out the window by what's going on.
Right.
Every time he gets that close to the end, you're like, ah! It's freaking horrible.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Has that kind of been lost? I don't want to go into that because I don't believe necessarily that movies are worse than they used to be. You know, that's been something you can debate or whatever.
Yeah.
But I find that tension for when you actually are concerned about the welfare of person in peril, at least for me, sometimes has been lost in modern movies. You don't actually believe that they're in peril in any way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like you were watching several times, John McClane, of course, going on the when he was going down the duct.
And he was trying to reach.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
how was he connected again? How did
It was a strap to his machine gun that he put the machine gun there and extended the strap and was holding onto the
Right,
strap trying to
right.
reach one of the outlets to the duct, and it gave.
Right.
That fucking shot above of him just sliding down.
Yeah,
God.
and the tension building up, of
Yes.
course, of watching. Oh, okay, this is going to go wrong. I can see that it's going to
Yeah.
go wrong. I don't know if we were just more gullible then, as we thought. But
But then
there's no way of they're not going to kill him right there. Right?
Yeah.
That would be funny. I don't know where you go from there in the movie,
But it's weird. It seems like with the advent of Steven Seagal's fame, where he was completely unstoppable and infallible in his films, where he was never touched. After Above the Law, he was never hit. It's like, all right, yeah. There's no surprise to this. There's no.
Yeah, but you could take. I mean, but are we doing the wrong thing there? Because people were saying that Die Hard stood out at the time for the reason we're saying that it stands out, which is that he was vulnerable. That he wasn't a Superman. Because, like, say, before that, Dirty Harry, Rambo, right? You know, in the original Rambo, First Blood, of course, he was vulnerable. So I don't know.
No, that's true. When it comes to, I've never seen a Dirty Harry film, me personally. Which
I
is
saw
interesting.
three of them. Three of them.
Are
maybe?
they amazingly great?
They're fun.
Okay.
I like them.
And that's only a quarter of the films they made, right? How many hours have they made?
I don't know. So okay, so that would definitely go up there, right?
Absolutely.
Should we do a top list? Should we just start over and do the top list? Okay, number 10. Boom, boom, boom. No, it's not gonna
Nah,
work.
it doesn't seem like we can't get our thoughts together enough while just sitting here like, and that's the best one. Then we're gonna like 5. No, wait, that should be 6, and
Yeah. I think we just name them.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's 2.
that's 2. I definitely feel that the scene where Jesse Ventura dies in Predator,
Yes.
they come in and just open
without
fucking,
saying a word.
no hesitation. He yells, "Sergeant!" They all come running and blow the ever-loving hell out of everything. One of the coolest scenes in movie history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I love that scene. And each of them having a different gun, and blowing, shooting the rocket launchers and grenades, and it's unbelievable. And of course, the minigun, one of the greatest.
Yeah, that
additions
was
to
interesting.
action
That was almost a character in the movie.
movies. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Old Painless. Remember he called it? Yeah, Ventura's, Blaine.
Yeah. That's also a very interesting thing about inanimate objects that become characters in movies that become so iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, okay, we'll do a separate show about also, about things like that. But
Okay.
no, we won't. I'm going to talk about it right now because I want to. Because to briefly talking about what it reminds me of are things that are either inanimate or don't have traditionally in real life the intelligence they attributed to the creature. Of course, Jaws is one of the first ones that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
But along that line, I think goes in things like Twister, right?
Yes.
The way they gave a personality to the tornadoes.
Yeah.
Like you felt that they were not just doing things; they were coming to get you specifically. They had a plan, and you were the one they were coming after.
Yes. Backdraft.
Backdraft, yes.
Fire was an absolute monster.
It was
in that movie.
malicious. It had bad intent,
Yes.
and it was coming after you. Yes, that was.
Now, are these just? Is this what you said? You felt the same way about blood in Bram Stoker's Dracula. You said he made blood a character.
He did make that. Yeah, I guess maybe we should do a separate show because this is a. But yes, that decision to make blood an actual character in the movie, which is what he was doing, why he showed it in so many different ways, so much of it down to the molecular level or cellular, I should say, down to the cellular level at one point.
Yeah.
And what blood meant and all that. Yeah, he made it a character in the movie, so I thought it was a brilliant decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an incredible film. Okay, so back to the action thing. I just wanted to say that there'll be a future episode.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice preview. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it better be.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China again is another one where it's like pick one.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
So which one do you pick?
For me, the first one that came to my head was the alley fight scene. You know what I mean?
Oh, when the
Because-
three storms first show up.
when the three storms for sure.
Yes,
yeah,
Between
yes.
the Chang Sing and the Wing Kong.
Good job, buddy. I didn't
Yeah.
remember that.
The Sing
I was gonna
Jings.
say I was gonna say sing dings. I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Oh my God, it was because I saw it when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And some action stuff you see when you're a kid is like, oh no, this is a little too much. You know what I mean? That one, it was fun action. It wasn't like, oh, this is something bad's happening here, but it's okay because it's in a movie. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have that feel. It had something like, it just made you think of Saturday morning. I'm gonna use that a lot, that analogy, but that's what it's like. Look at these guys, they're fighting. It's like people are dying, but you get the idea that they're not really dead and they're going to do this again tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this, super long feud between the Chang Sings and the Wing Kong,
Yeah, and the way it kept building because you think you got this horrible battle between the two human components, and then when it seems like the Chang Sings are getting the upper hand, then the three storms, mythological, super beings come down and decide to fight. And then there's a 7-foot tall roadblock at the end of that scene.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, right. The chaos of it all.
Yes.
And it's one of the great introductions of characters
Oh, God,
you
yeah.
know, in action movie history. The three of them showing up in three separate ways,
Yes.
showing what their elemental powers were very briefly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No.
It's
And
brilliant.
the first thing Thunder did was fucking scream when he showed up.
Yeah. Right. Which is just it's just a precursor to his entire performance.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
God bless him.
And it also, what we talked about often with that movie, it is something that Carpenter did throughout. John Carpenter, the writer-director, and the musical. He also
Yeah.
wrote the
He
scores.
wrote the music, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Something he did throughout the entire film, which was give you just a hint of a long, long history that he wasn't going to tell you, which was made that movie still today. That's why it's so rewatched.
Bewitching.
Yeah, absolutely. Why, like anything, you keep people wanting more, but you actually don't give it to them. So they can, when they watch it, it adds an extra element of joy to fill in those things as you're watching it.
Yeah.
Like what is their history? What is the relationship between Egg Shen and
And Lo Pan.
Yeah.
what really is it? They never tell you that.
No.
Yeah. I mean, and they made
Why
that
were the three storms so terrified when they heard Egg Shen was with them?
exactly. That was exactly my next point. Because there was the relationship, the dialogue between him and Lo Pan. That was enough mystery. And then he tells them Egg Shen is with them, and then the two of them were upset that Egg Shen was up in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we gotta deal with him.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Beautiful.
Okay, that's a good one.
Very good one.
Okay. See, now, okay, Terminator 2.
Mm.
What would you say was the iconic? Is there an iconic action scene in that? That's an iconic action film, but there's a particular scene. Would you say is iconic?
The one I guess I thought of when you said the name of the film was him chasing the truck in the helicopter.
Yeah.
The way that the nighttime and the light in there, and John laying under all the. It just gave you such a, like, you were there, like you understand that you're a kid and it's like, what's happening over there, and someone's arguing. It was kind of like,
Yeah.
and he's going under the bridges and under the up and above and under the bridges, and it's just amazing. That's the one I thought of.
Yeah.
She's open firing while he's trying to drive. It's so much was going on in that scene. I love that scene.
I guess if I had to choose, because my favorite scene in the movie was their battle at the end.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
T100 versus T1000.
Yeah.
Or is it T100 the first one? Right.
I think it was T800.
Oh.
I think.
Oh, I downgraded him. I apologize. I apologize, Terminator. Yeah, I mean, because it was just,
Yeah, it's what you were waiting for the entire
it's
movie.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're waiting for a real. They give you a precursor, and they give you a small glimpse of it when they first meet each other. They kind of, fuck with each other a bit, but that last, and they're also showing you all that he can do with the technology, right? Him punching through his head and his head becoming hands, right? him throwing him against the wall, and then his back turning into his front.
Yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that was probably my favorite scene in the movie.
I can understand that. Both great action scenes.
Yeah. And the overall feel of that movie, I absolutely loved the tone of that movie. Yeah. There was something about, I mean, the cinematography and even the sound editing of that movie. I know some people had a problem with it because the gunshots sounded very specifically different from other films.
Right.
But I don't. He was able to capture something about the coldness of technology in the tone of the movie.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blues in that film
Yes.
were a unique shade, and the way the light bounced off of it and everything. It was just like, what am I looking at? This is something different here.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. The one I thought of was that I always loved in that. I don't know if it's considered action. I guess it is because there's cars chasing things. When he gets John and Liquid Man is chasing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the big rig versus the motorcycle.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. You know, I just love that because you're like, John's safe. You know what I mean? Like,
And Arnold, TT 800, or he's flipping the gun to reload it. Flipping the gun to reload it.
yeah.
Was still the most magical thing I've ever seen as a child.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible to make shotguns cooler. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, they're cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Quick side note for me, he's one of the greatest action stars, like truly great
Who?
Arnold.
Why is that?
Because I feel in action films, for the most part, he was better than Sly. Sly was an actual actor trying to do corn and with a side of ham and cheese. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And he just couldn't do it. He was too good of an actor. Arnold, he had charisma. The accent, he made it work. You know, he did those corny lines great. He did corny movements great. It was just, I think he was a better action star than Sly was, just as far as action.
I think that makes sense.
He was also very funny.
Yeah, oh my God, he was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, he could be very funny.
Yeah.
Which I think Stallone struggled with both of those things, with natural charisma and comedy. in
Yeah,
my
I
opinion.
disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I do.
I think it all came off a little too forced for
I
me.
think you have a problem with him, a personal problem.
I don't have a personal problem with him. I think he's wonderful.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so what else are we talking about here?
Of 100% course, the RoboCop goes after the everyone in the warehouse
Right.
of the drug warehouse with enough snow in it to make the dude just shit snow for a year.
Yeah.
I've messed that up, but just the sheer absolute ridiculous unstoppable nature that they made him, where he killed an entire warehouse full of assholes by himself.
Right.
Yeah.
And he warned them, which made it even better. You know what I mean?
Come quietly, or there will be trouble. Yeah.
Fuck you. And then it just,
And then,
it was
yeah.
on.
In fact,
You know what I mean?
That shot, them shooting him, and then the music starts. Well, the music was starting before that.
Yes.
But that shot of behind him, and he's walking to a clearer path of all of them. And the body language, he turns and it's like, yes, give. There's nothing you can do. The last time I walked into a warehouse is what made me like this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
Against some of you
So
people.
it's almost an emotional fuck you. Right?
Exactly. It's like, yeah, look, you're all going to die at my hands, you know?
And the brilliance of having Verhoeven, Paul Verhoeven, the director, had him, when he first walked in, target them all first. They didn't have that going on while the action was going on. He did that, okay, have them all, come quietly, be trouble, and then okay, now I'll kill you all. I already have it done.
And he paused right before he started shooting. He didn't start shooting right away. Wasn't
No.
there a moment?
As Steve was saying,
Yeah.
as Malmut was saying, it was behind his back, and you saw him just taking it in as they were all firing on him.
Yeah. Because the first shot was a stunt double in the suit, and the guy was a little chunkier than what's his name?
Yeah.
And it was from the front. And you saw him getting shot, and they showed what those bullets were doing to other things in the room and not to him. And then he starts walking forward, and then they cut to behind him, and it had to be Weller. It had to be, by the way that guy was moving.
Yeah.
and he turned a little bit, his head like, oh, get your beatings.
Get thee behind me, Satan.
Yeah, my God.
And I really do have to talk again about, if we're going to talk RoboCop, I have to talk again, even though we only briefly went through the scene of him going back and the whole build up to him going back and visiting his old house. First, the build up there, right? But I have to talk just briefly about that scene and how emotional it was and how it I go and watch it is all I can say.
Yeah.
I don't want to detail it too much, but for me, the whole symbol of that movie is the broken cup. When he walks into the kitchen, so he's going through anyone that hasn't seen it, go watch it. But if you haven't, he's walking through his old house. His family is gone, and they're doing this flashback to him remembering through his point of view his family. So and they do it as if it's a screen fuzzing out. And it fuzzes out, and then there's a memory of there's his son. Can you do that, Dad? Right, that whole thing. He's watching a TV show, right? And they fuzz back out, and the music's playing, very melancholy, very sad. Him walking through, but he goes into the kitchen, and there's a cup on the counter that's broken that says "World's Greatest Dad" in the middle of this empty house that used to be his. That just. I'm sorry. I mean, that's great filmmaking. That one little thing that you catch that through all this, your emotions are like heightened already. You're feeling the sadness of the character. You're feeling the desolation of the house and of these people are long gone. His mother, his wife, and his son are long gone. Have no idea he's still alive. He doesn't know if he's still alive. You know, and they just hit you with that cup. There it is, the broken cup, the broken humanity of that time. It's just, can't say enough about that scene.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Another action scene, one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion, starts with a fight.
You cheater.
I cheated. Captain America Winter Soldier. From the elevator scene to him no, I'm Steve Rogers, nothing's stopping me from escaping this facility. And the way it was directed, it was like, you could see everything that was happening. Because sometimes when directors try to have a character do something that's larger than life, it's like, I'm not feeling this. Like there's a bunch of things happening, but they grounded the immense action in a way. They had a dichotomy there. It was this amazing astronomical action, but they put you there. They grounded it somehow. And you're like, yeah, he just did all that. Look at him,
Yeah.
That is a special skill. There's very few directors that can do that.
Yeah.
Lucas is the first one that comes to mind. When you watch, for example, you watch Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
The scene where he's fighting Jango Fett in the rain on a missing, lost planet. You're like, oh, I remember that time I was there. Like something about the way he directs, just like you're there. Cameron is great at that as well, where you believe you've been to what they're showing you, no matter how fantastical it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
For me, well, we have to talk about Mission Impossible.
Absolutely.
Right?
The very first one.
The very first one, 1996, the summer of 1996. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, that was all over the commercials. It is kind of the only real action scene in the movie. I mean, there's things that kind of border on action scenes in the movie. I mean, and I remember us joking about it. Do you remember that before we went to see it?
No.
You remember we were like, yeah, imagine if that was the only action scene in the movie. Yeah, it was the only action scene. Really. I mean, I actually loved that movie.
Yeah.
At the time, though, as a 16-year-old, you were 15.
Yes.
When we went to see it, we were just, we were a little bit disappointed that was like the major action scene, that we were right.
Yes.
But still, it is to me, again, the scale of what he was doing there, the realism of it. You didn't have things. You never had. You couldn't film on something going that fast without special effects, right? That was the whole thing. Because you've had endless, corny, really poorly done action scenes on top of slow-moving trains
Yeah.
because they couldn't get up that fast because the actors would fall off, right?
Yeah.
But they had a
Always those hobo freight trains. Chug it, chug it, chug it. Do a spin kick. You know.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually what those, how those went. They would go to this far shot of someone who's obviously a stunt person. And then the close shot, you could just see it was like two guys pushing the rail, pushing the cart along, right? But yeah, that's what was so special about the special effects explosion of the 90s. The CGI explosion of the 90s was making things like that possible, not just amazing creatures and things that were impossible to do in any kind of reality, but impossible to film because of the danger it would put people in. And that was one of them. That a fight on top of a bullet train, what would that look like? The first time we were able to see that, that they weren't even able to stand up. They were going so fast, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the capper of him, nothing like that, quite like that. I know there'd been build-up, right?
Yes.
I mean, you look at Die Hard 2, right?
Yes.
That kind of reminds you, he comes flying out of the plane and it explodes right towards the camera.
Yeah.
Which is still, I don't think that scene is talked about enough. That was an amazing sequence of him flying all the way. You saw the chair flipping. The plane explodes below him. He comes right up to the screen. Oh, shit. And then he goes back down. It's like, that's unbelievably amazing, that shot.
Yeah, I remember that was all over the previews.
Yes. Which they should have done that. Yeah, they should have really saved that.
You think?
Yeah. Because really that's what you remember about that film. It's like it was in the previews and it's on the commercials and it was in the film and then it's over. Maybe that's why people don't talk about it for some strange reason.
People don't like that movie. Right?
No, it seemed to be one of the shittier diehards, which I still think it's cool. I think it had sequelitis. It was a lot of, and Holly's stuck somewhere again, and that reporter guy's back, and it's like that. And it's also Christmas. It's like, so that kind of stuff is dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst is when they try and, I actually think it's corny when they try and address it and thinking that'll make it go away.
It's almost tacky. You want to say tacky on that. It's like,
That's some tacky shit.
Just don't do that. Yeah.
But I liked it. No, I like the second one.
No, I think it's better than people give it credit for. I think it's a better film than it's reviewed. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that was when Mission Impossible came out. That was really mind blowing. That Tom Cruise was flying off the back of a helicopter that was exploding and landing on a bullet train. It was Tom Cruise doing that.
Yeah.
And it still gives me chills.
It's a remarkable scene. As I said, it's the one movie so far that is the only action sequence, and it is that iconic.
Yeah. Cliffhanger.
Okay, what scene?
The opening.
You call that an action sequence?
Yeah, that's a good.
We're kind of bending that there a little bit.
I guess it's such a good scene.
No, absolutely. It's more of a thriller kind of intense sort of thing there.
Well, I'm gonna cheat.
We're gonna cut. We're gonna stricken. This is
you're
strike from the record.
Can I cheat?
No,
I will.
it's all over now.
No,
Go
okay.
watch Cliffhanger if you want to, but we're not talking about it here.
No, come on. The opening that opening sequence.
I think what you're getting at is the way it was done was like an action sequence.
I
Is that
don't
what you're
think
getting at?
that's even true.
I just want to talk about that scene.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
I was trying to give you an in, man. You just tossed it.
My in is I'm talking. That's
All right, so now we've moved over to this episode's about scenes from Cliffhanger.
not scenes from movies. Scenes about cliffs. How many can we figure out with that? How many movies where cliffs play prominently in?
Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, where they were like he didn't want to jump because it was like he was afraid he couldn't swim. And one of the best lines, it's "Are you stupid? The fall will probably kill you." When
Right.
you have to worry, so
That's a
that
great
was
line.
jumping off a cliff. Yeah.
Thelma and Louise.
Thelma
Thelma and Louise, of course. The ending of Thelma and Louise. I don't care if you haven't seen it by this time. It's too long.
You don't get a pass any longer.
Spoilers for Thelma and Louise are let loose.
Cliffhanger.
And now we've come organically to Cliffhanger. What were you saying about Cliffhanger?
What's that?
A movie with Rambo in it.
And a
Wait,
great
versus
opening.
a cliff.
Yes.
Oh no, I was gonna say it has a great opening action scene.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, well, I just want to talk about it because it's such an incredible.
Yes.
It's so tense. It's so well crafted that they're talking. This happy little back and forth they have, but then Rennie Harlan, director, starts doing this little thing where he closes up on the first indication that you get that this is going to go bad is when he closes up on. It's very subtle, but he closes up on Sylvester Stallone's foot, just on the edge of the cliff, which makes you just okay. That's a little tense. Not that it's foreshadowing exactly what's going to happen, but he's reminding you of how dangerous the situation is. And he's reaching out, and he grabs, right? So that's when you first start to go. He gives you the smallest feeling that this isn't going to end well. Like something's coming. Yeah. And then we talk about turning inanimate objects into villains. For one brief second, he turned the strap around that woman into a malicious creature. The way he directed it, the buckle breaking and it moving across her body, undoing, and her that actress was incredible. Her screaming as it, Michael Rooker, of course, was fantastic in that scene. So yeah, and then who would it? I mean, really, who's guessing that it's going to end? The scene's going to end that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I remember the shock around it when it came out. Everyone was like, the beginning of that scene? Oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Before I knew, what actually happened in the film, people were talking about. I can't believe they started it that way.
Yeah. And her screaming, they added little things after it actually happens. And, of course, the classic watching her. First she falls. He grabs her. He actually gets her. And then the fact that she's panicking so much is the reason she dies. And the acting there was so fantastic. Remember, would you just reach? He's begging with her to just to reach up. And the look on her. And then she turns. Oh God, this is not good. This is heartbreaking. She turns to her boyfriend, Hal, Michael Rooker playing Hal, and says, "Hal, I'm slipping." He can't do anything. He's in the helicopter.
Yeah.
But she turns away from Sylvester Stallone, Gabe, and says, "Hal, I'm slipping." Yeah. Asking him some. It's just every little thing they put in that, and then that, just the framing, the slow motion of her hand actually coming out of the glove, and he does that wide shot of her, almost a picture, almost a painting of her hand coming out of the glove and falling. And then, of course, the very last, just stabbing your fuck, was her screaming no on the way down. Not just which is bad enough. She's screaming no.
And it went to a shot of right on her there, right?
Yeah. Yes, they did an amazing shot of the wind, remember? And her hair, and just a close-up on her screaming, nah,
Yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Because you think, they put you there. Because normally in movies, it's like, oh, I slipped, and they're instantly dead. It's like, no, she's going to be alive for the next, 15 seconds till she's brutally dead.
Right.
Yeah. And then he's got to slide off of that fucking rope and go get in the helicopter. It's like the shot of Stallone staring downward and then putting his hands over his face where he can't.
Over his eyes, which was I thought was important because he says later, you didn't have to look into her eyes when she was falling.
Yes.
Which is followed by one of the worst lines.
Yes, it is. So let's just drop it. And then Michael Rooker says, no, you're the one that dropped it. The it being the love of his life and his girlfriend. But he got him there, didn't he?
God bless America.
Zing.
I think that should have been the tagline. Cliffhanger. Zing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's why we had to talk about it.
No, I definitely agree, and I'm glad that we did. And Rennie Harlan also being the director of Die Hard 2.
That's
that
right.
We talked about.
Yeah, all comes full circle.
Yeah,
in the end.
Because you're an asshole.
Which one?
It's full circle like an asshole.
I don't.
No?
I'm not. What if people have like an oblong asshole? I'm not going to get on. You know what I'm saying? Be more inclusive.
I apologize to all those with irregular assholes. All right.
Sorry.
Cripple. We're not going to have you on today, Cripple. Come on, buddy.
Yes. Morph.
This is our good friend Cripple the Clown. He is able-bodied. It's just a name. How you doing, Cripple?
Basilica.
Yeah.
can't.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right, you don't have to.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll continue the adventures of Crippled the Clown when we come back. We're back.
And Cripple escaped. So,
We'll have to go on with it.
all right, dude.
Yeah. What?
He's not well.
He's not well. Yeah. So, what do you got? Anything
To
else?
continue, if this is again an imagined action sequence, but the tense thriller horror nature of it is when simultaneously all of the ships decide to attack in Independence Day.
Oh yes.
They showed, what was it, 3 different cities at one time? D.C.
New York, D.C.,
and
L.A.
and
yeah.
LA.
Yeah.
The music, the absolute horrific desolation that was and destruction. Because of course there's the initial shots of hitting the Empire State Building, seeing it completely explode, the entire thing at once. But when everything was set, when they showed it all being blown up, those first shots of the buildings, that shot of it fire coursing through the streets of the city. So that music, just like, it's over. The army's not going to come and say, we're going to stop this, and no one's going to get saved here.
Right. So but did you slowing it down just a bit? The
yeah.
way they built that scene, right? The way they're building when the whole world really realizes that they're hostile, right? Is when the thing opens, they shoot down the helicopters, and that's when it's for real. It's on. These are hostile creatures that have intentions, and from then on, the music keeps building and building and building.
Yes.
And David Arnold, the one that did the score for that, the horns he used at that scene, the building, and then of course, the classic, the clock ticking out, and there's Jeff Goldblum. He's on the plane. The mill is building. Horn ends as 0 hits. The horn hits, and then time's up. And that's when they go slowly. So the building of that energy, and then that's where the music ends for a while. That's what's really fascinating. That's what's, again, skill in filmmaking. No music for a while. Only sound effects. People screaming, glass breaking, things exploding, of course. Lots of explosions. Things collapsing.
The sound of the actual beam hitting.
Yeah.
That whole kind
Absolutely.
of... Oh, man, yeah.
And then, so you're following all this throughout, and then that wide shot, like you said, and one of my favorites is when they show it rolling down the street in L.A. with the palm trees
Yes.
in front of it, in the foreground. Like this, palm trees are supposed to be a symbol of happy joy time, like relaxation, and they just show them being incinerated. I also love the purposeful throwing of a fire truck at you with fire. So they're a great symbol of things totally out of control. Fire truck's supposed to put out fire, right?
More fire than any fire truck can handle.
Right. Love that. It's the siren's still on.
Yeah.
And then they go to that wide shot, and then the music kicks up again, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then when they go to Vivica Fox in the tunnel, he does this amazing shot of her running with the kid and then turning her hair. He slows it right then, and the music changes to something more desperate just as she turns, because she realizes no fucking way she's getting out of this tunnel. It's just not happening. And I thought and she's holding the kid again. When filmmakers could capture a particular scene like it's a work of art, that particular scene has been illustrated, that it tells you so much just looking at that. That is a great one.
Yeah,
That is an absolute masterpiece.
Absolutely.
Of fuckery. It just just messed you up, man.
And then for it to end up...
It's just elegant destruction is what it is. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's the most.
Yes. And then for the capper to destroy our symbol of government, to show the White House being completely destroyed.
Yeah.
And I have to mention the aftermath of the scene when they go to the next day, and you just have a close-up shot of the Statue of Liberty in the water and this city in complete destruction, completely destroyed with the the middle of the ship closing, and you
Yeah.
see it spinning. It's the most horrific, horrifying shot.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a good one. Yeah, that's always a good one.
there's a lot that goes into those. There's a lot goes into a lot of movies that, and I called it. I know I called it stupid in my review of it, but you know what I meant by that. I mean, you weren't going to get. It's not like Twilight Zone level of
Of science fiction or anything.
of science
like that,
fiction,
yeah.
right? Exactly. But that's actually one of my favorite movies. Period. So you can go to hell. That's all I've got to say about that.
Wherever you may be.
Wherever you may be. I'm sorry.
So some other one.
You can go to hell. Oh, okay.
I keep wanting to think of. I keep wanting to mention something Jackie Chan somewhere in here, but a lot of his were hand to hand.
Right.
I mean, he would do stunts, of course.
What? Jackie Chan does stunts?
Yeah, you believe
Holy
that?
shit.
I didn't know that.
So I'm trying to think. I mean, he has to be the greatest action star of all time.
It's not even close.
All things considered,
It's not even close.
it's not even close.
No.
It's like Arnold did his own, thing. What did he do? Oh, he lifted a rock and threw it or something. It's like, oh, that's cute.
Comparatively, yes.
Yeah.
Comparatively,
Because
yeah.
we know Tom Cruise has done a lot of really cool stuff,
Oh,
really
yeah.
dangerous stuff. But
Yeah.
Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
was for real, for real.
One stunt in Police Story, he got 3rd-degree friction burns, electrocution, and cracked 2 of his vertebrae on one stunt.
It means he's a terrible stuntman.
He's just fucking terrible.
No,
I'm joking.
He's,
I'm only
that's
joking.
terrible.
About that. Yeah, I was playing. It was all a play.
No, he is the Jimmy and the John.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what that is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. Like he would perform it all, he would create it all, he would direct, he would edit. It's astronomical.
He's Orson Welles of action movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
very
a good
well
one.
said.
That's very good. Yeah,
So I'm just trying to think of stuff that would fit our criteria for him.
He's Action Orson or Orson Action. So what do you think about that?
I like that. I'm happy with it.
I am not.
I don't think that you should be this aggressive all day.
All right.
Even fun more Americanized movies like Rush Hour.
Right.
He had amazing shit in, even though he was
Oh, yeah.
800 years old.
Right. Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah, the pool room scene.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
awesome.
Yeah.
That one and the scene when they went to the Fu Chow restaurant and they went upstairs to see Juntao.
Yeah.
Everything went down there. They're just brawling up there. Everybody. It is a
Yeah.
fracas.
Yeah.
And he kicks the damn gun out the window. It was just, we kicked your ass. Oh, yeah. I got your ass.
A great freaking team up.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
All right. So, any other iconic action scenes? There's probably
iconic
big
action.
ones we're missing.
There probably is. We mentioned some big ones, and I don't know if you can get a bigger scale than Independence Day as far as scale is
Right.
bigger. But yeah, some ones that are really like, wow, this is all we've talked about.
But then, where do you choose? Like, Speed is an iconic action movie, but what scene do you choose in Speed as the iconic action scene?
It's true because the whole thing was one long kind of like, all right, let's.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't think of one that really like
Right.
stuck out.
I
That's
mean,
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, everyone says the bus jumping, which is great.
Oh,
but
that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would choose that as the scene.
Yeah.
So,
Anything?
It's got to be something else.
So we're going iconic or just great?
anything. What do you
Okay.
got?
Another MCU film, Civil War.
At the airport,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the airport.
that was a hell of a scene.
Yeah.
Because I went to see it, and us being avid, old school comic book readers,
Yes.
we're like, we always settle. I was like, oh no, that was cool, but doesn't light a candle to what Jim Shooter and the gang were up
Right.
to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't light a candle, doesn't hold a candle.
It
I am
doesn't-
just a
it
piece
does-
of shit.
It does
No,
neither. Is the real point.
Exactly. The can if you're holding it, it's not even lit, and you can't hold it anyway. So forget it.
No, but that's all true. When you think about what Jim Starlin and Kirby the King Kirby did, yeah, you go, no, none of this. None of the actual movies matches the epic nature of the comic books. They never do.
Right.
But I understand it's a different medium and why certain things can't be done.
Right.
So
Yeah. And so you're like, yeah, this is fun. But I was like, I felt a little glimmer I think it was more than a glimmer. I felt what was going on. I felt the kinship between that airport scene and the greatness of the comics because they were doing so much, balancing all these characters and the different ways they fought and their different personalities. And, oh, man, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a wonderful scene. As I said, then they did, and the whole ramping it up. They started with them rushing at each other, and then they're fighting. They're showing the different styles of fighting between each person. And then, of course, the huge surprise. They got people flying over.
Yeah.
And then the huge surprise of Ant-Man becomes Giant Man, and there's a whole other level to that. You know, and Spider-Man, of course, jumps into and he's swinging around on him. It's like they tried to do so many levels of the fight and succeed. Again, of course, before he was Giant Man, he was crawling around in Tony Stark's suit.
Oh,
it's
my
like
God.
So many
Talk about
different
out of a comic book.
Beautiful to go from to tiny to huge to flying to on the ground to superpowers to fighting to it was a brilliantly done scene. Very exciting.
Again, skillful, right? There's a craft in building things like that we've all watched movies, action movies, a lot of action movies that it's just a mess, right?
Yeah.
None of it makes any sense. You don't care about any of it because it's just throwing it at you. There's no craft or skill in when something happens and how it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is the difference. People say, "Well, I don't understand why people don't like this, but they like that." Well, craft skill is
Yes.
We all have nice ideas, don't we? But you know, how are you implementing it? How you how are you executing this idea? That is at least half the idea. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm sure that this people that went to film school or whatever probably, who could put it better than we do, and probably we sound like a bunch of morons. But
It's just fancy words they would have.
they would just have all
The
these
bitterness is showing. You and your fancy words, I still look at a movie too. But my eyeball spheres. I'm saying both, not even optical sphere. My eyeball spheres. It's redundant. There's one of your big words.
right.
I can say them too. Rotisserie chicken. Whatever.
Aren't I cool?
Oh, look at me. I'm so cool. Yeah. But we talked about its sequel, but I think for me, one that I would say action sequence and just tense and scary again was the first Terminator when he comes to get her in the police station. Of course, it started with his now supremely iconic line, "I'll be back."
Right. Is that the first time he ever said it?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he did not say it in Conan anywhere, and he didn't do many films before that. But yeah, having her wake up on the couch in the one office, hearing gunshots, and then cops running through the office saying it's fine, just stay here and running, and then they go, you hear it, it's worse, more gunshot, and then they go back there just crying in the room like he's coming again, he's coming for me.
There's no stopping.
It was an amazing scene, and of course mentioning, which was cool to reference it after the second one, they said that he had killed 17 police officers that day. And I've tried a couple times to count it, but they don't show everybody. Of course, it's I was wondering if they showed all 17 of them, but they don't. Yeah. Wonderful scene, the tension, and then her hiding under the desk, and then Reese comes in, she thinks it's him, and then they got to escape him when all the cops you just saw in the movie, good people trying to protect her, are all dead now. It's just
right.
Yeah,
What a surprise that they kill Paul Winfield.
Yes,
and
Lance Hendrickson.
They're just dead.
Yeah.
They're just dead. Yeah. Let's
Because
just
you
kill
loved
them.
them.
Oh yeah. Lance Hendrickson seemed like a jackass, but then his rapport with Winfield, who seemed like a good cop, they really put you there. It's like, yeah, these guys are just trying to do their job. They're murdered. You know, it's just freaking crazy. Great scene.
Really fantastic. All right. Is there any other truly iconic action scenes that we can think of really quickly? Right, toot sweet.
We got some big ones, some good ones.
Anything in, because I haven't seen it since I was a kid, anything from True Lies? I remember Joe or someone
at the
mentioning
time, right at the time, I haven't seen. The last time I saw it, of course, that's the thing. Some things don't age well because of technology, and they just don't. They're just not impressive anymore. So last time I saw it, I was surprised at how little effect the end action scene on the plane, on the jet plane, really was.
It didn't really. Yeah, I saw it a few years ago. It didn't really stick with me as much anymore. I agree.
Yeah. At the time, that's a great one because at the time
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
huge.
people were losing it.
I mean, the people were losing it. That was the chilling. It was actually chilling at the time, and it's strange how those things change.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, Twister. I still enjoy Twister. Still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But as far as iconic action scene,
Yeah. Of course, you talked about before them making the Twisters actually have personalities.
right?
When that Category 5 was showing up at the end when they were watching Shining, and
That's not the end.
that's not the end.
No, that's a scene I was going to say was probably the best scene, but that's not
That's
the
not
end.
the end scene.
No,
Where the hell am I at?
I don't know.
Wow. Maybe I turned it off after that. That's the best that gets, and just turned it off.
No, it's not the ending sequence.
Oh,
No, that is a great sequence.
I remember that being
because
absolutely amazing. Yeah.
it's sneaking up on them. He finds a way to make a tornado sneak up on people.
Oh my God.
And because they just show the lightning and you realize it's behind the movie screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And remember her realizing it was coming.
Yes.
She's watching and then looks up at the TV screen and it's fuzzing. And then they go to the Paxton's new bitch. What was
Paxton / Rick Moranis. Go back and look at it.
Hey,
He became Rick Moranis at
like-
one part.
I like-
I'm not. What?
I like Paxton.
I'm stating facts. I'm not saying anything. Are you saying you
It's
hate
a
Rick
fact.
Moranis? It's a fact, Jack, that when he walked up to us saying, "You stole Dorothy," he might as well had glasses on and was running from a weird Gozer beast in Ghostbusters. He was Rick Moranis for 10 seconds. That was very weird.
So the question it becomes: are you insulting Rick Moranis?
I'm stating a fact. You're the one that insulted Rick Moranis because you're like, well, don't call him that. I like Bill Paxton. Don't call him that fiend.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I don't remember her name in the movie.
Who?
His side. No, it wasn't even his side. It was his fiance.
Fine, bitch.
Oh,
I don't remember
I
her
don't
name
remember, I don't remember
outside
anybody's
either.
name in that movie.
Not yet. Well, there's Dorothy. No, sorry. His name was like Bill in it, wasn't it? Paxton? Wasn't his name Bill?
Oh, okay.
I thought it was Paxton.
I thought it was Bill Pullman. in the movie.
They've both been mentioned today. At least the movie they were in. Bill Pullman playing the president
Oh, that's
in
right.
Independence Day,
Yeah, of course.
who did not turn into Rick Moranis at any point during the film.
But kind of turned into Michael Douglas.
I think he always has a bit of "I'm fighting Douglas away," yeah, that kind of thing.
I love Paxton.
Oh no, Paxton
I mean
does.
Pullman.
No,
I
Pullman-
like Paxton too.
No, I think Paxton. Yeah, I ended up liking him more, and I was really sad. Not because I like him now. I'm sad he died. I was just, even when I didn't like him a lot, didn't want the man to die.
I kind of did, even though I like him. No.
That's just a whole
I
side thing.
apologize to the family members.
They're not watching this.
Nobody's watching.
Well, given
this.
that we have no camera, I don't think we're watching.
Yeah, I don't think I'm paying attention at all.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
We're talking about the woman that replaced the indomitable Helen Hunt. When they really did make her, like you've mentioned before, they made her like Van Helsing. She knew it was coming. She knew that the devil was on the way and she needed to fight it. They really did do that. I definitely agree with you. She's annoying as hell. Nah, I'm sorry.
Hey, man. Who exactly?
Helen Hunt became
In that movie? Or
No, I actually still didn't mind her in that, and I did like her. I could see why people were talking about her at first. Then she
well, you
just
said
became.
you loved her in Mad About You.
I was in love with her in Mad About You actually, and I thought that she still played a person that just like a full person.
So is this a breakup? You broke up with
I
her?
broke up with her. Yeah, it was after Castaway. I'm like, you need to go home right now. She was so annoying in that movie, and trying to replace Jenny. I don't care what anybody goddamn says. Trying to replace Jenny from Forrest Gump, and it's like you're not as good. Go all the way home. You know, very beautiful woman. Then, and I'm not a very beautiful man.
All right, I think.
Yeah, we ended on a weird note. Let's do that.
I think that's. I'm sure there's a lot of action scenes we missed, and we will come back to it if we realize we're a bunch of fucking douchebags that forgot a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, part
So,
two.
yeah. Well, we're douchebags anyway. But what are you gonna do?
But at least we're not Rick Moranis. That's the point.
For the record, I hate Mick.
Mick Moranis. Damn it.
No, okay. Let's recast Terminator with actors today.
Today?
The three
Okay.
major.
I'd like to see Idris Elba play the T-800. I'd like to see what he would do with that as a
Very good.
straight-up villain.
Very good.
I'm a big, huge fan of Tatiana Maslany.
Okay.
I would like to see her play Sarah Connor.
Oh, that would be great.
I would like that. Now, Reese. I would like to see someone we refer to as Mustache. I'd like to see Aaron Eckhart play Reese. He might be a little old now to play that character.
Right.
But I like his energy with stuff like that. I'd like to see how he would do it.
All right. You got something?
Okay, so the first person that came to mind for what? No, for Sarah Connor was what's her name? She was in Shame. She played his sister.
Oh, Carrie Mulligan.
Yeah, I think she can play.
I like her.
You know, I think she would do good with that. With the stress of being Sarah Connor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who's gonna play Arnold? Let's just get Arnold. No, I'm just kidding. We cast him in everything. No. I got a better idea. Chokish. Martin Chokish.
Very good.
That'd be horrifying.
That's a scary damn man right there.
Yeah.
As far as Wreath, you don't want him to. I like the idea of him being a smaller guy. You know.
Yeah, I can understand because he's just born into
yeah.
the shit. He's got to adapt.
Exactly. So Reese. I'm drawing a blank.
All right.
Somebody small, but they can. We'll get the Mountain to play him.
Very good.
All right.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, as they say.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
What about you, Crisis?
I probably Elizabeth Olsen as Sarah Connor.
Oh,
I like that.
fantastic.
I like that.
I really like her. I think Miles Teller is Reese. I think Miles
That's
Teller
weird.
would be
After I said
fantastic.
mustache, I thought of Teller, and I was always like, maybe I should, but yeah, good.
I think Miles Teller would be a
I think
great
that makes
Reese.
sense.
And for T800,
I believe it's T800. If
T800?
I'm wrong, please sue me. Yeah.
T800. I'd like to see what Michael Shannon would do with it. Oh, wow! I think it'd be a very strange. I mean, ultimately, I think I would rather see him do T1000.
I like
I
that.
think he would bring something very strange to that. But if we're just, I still want to see him play an evil robot and see what he would do with it.
Yeah. No, I'm for that.
So,
Yeah. I like that idea very much. It'd be very scary.
all right. Well, looks like the food's here. Thank you for joining us. We will talk to you next time if we're not shot to death by T100.
That's not a character.
It is now. If there was a T100, what would it look like?
Rick Moranis, 100%. He is the T100. That's just how
Rat
that goes.
Moranis? Somebody's in Rat Moranis?
No, you know.